Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello. Are we on? Can you? They open.
2 and 3.
They are open.
I feel like
you cannot hear us at all.
You can't.
Can you?
I can.
All right. Well.
Can you hear me?
I guess.
Testing.
I guess so. Jason, here, there.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, brother.
We good. We just going to get our sound right real quick.
Water. Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep. I can hear me now. Hi, y'all.
It's us.
Okay.
Check.
Right.
Check.
All right. We're going to get Jason on the screen here. Yes. Hello. Welcome to BKS1 Radio, the Out Show. It's your girl, Latoya Chanel. And I have no lip stuff at all because
don't lick your lips because then you're gonna get that ring.
Oh my God! And then do you get the ring like within an hour?
You
or
can.
Is oh, okay. All right.
You can.
All right. Well, I forgot it at home with a bunch of other stuff, but we in the studio. I still got these pearls on from earlier. I'm gonna take these.
No, that's
off.
right. Just wear them.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take these off.
You could have just worn.
And it's part of my gift. Anyway, we're back. We're in studio. Welcome everybody, and thank you. Shut the front door. So yeah, we are back. We are in studio today. It is a happy Tuesday. It is post our event that happened on shut the front door. That happened at child.
Everything good.
It is post.
Why are you cheesing like that?
It's post our
I'm very happy to be here.
That happened on Saturday. Listen, we are happy to be here right now, and I want to make an announcement, just to let everyone know that this is our last show for the summer, and then we will be back in August. So don't look for us next week because we ain't gonna be here next week, y'all. Actually, next week I will be working. I will be in the middle of working, doing a bunch of festivals and all the other stuff that it is that I do. Over the summer, we got some things, and we're going to take some rest over the summer. But so this is our last show until August. But just know that you'll still be seeing clips, and you'll still be seeing reels from our Our Show page. And then we already have events planned for the fall, so we'll be back in enough time to start promoting our events and start giving you information on our events. And you know what? At that point, whatever has happened in our lives, and we'll go ahead and we'll share that with you.
So it's sort of like when Beyonce broke up with.
This is interesting.
No,
I'm just trying to figure out where we're going.
The girl group. What's the girl group she was in?
3LW.
No, Beyonce.
Destiny's Child.
This dude said 3LW. But anyway, and we off to do our solo projects. There were a lot of things that you need.
Yes.
Of course. Of course, we got a lot of solo things.
Okay.
One, like you said, one includes rest. Of course, I don't know how much rest you're gonna get, but I don't, because your summers are always crazy. And I plan on mine being crazy too, but also taking some rest as well.
Okay.
And then we'll come back, like you said. We already have projects.
We already got stuff going on in the fall.
That we are going to do in the fall, which we know already, and we'll be properly prepared for that.
Yeah. And we'll start promoting.
So I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally excited.
So that means, Jason, whatever you got going on Mondays, let me know. Like if you need me to come in for anything, I don't have a show on Tuesdays, so let me know. Okay. All right.
Need you.
Just let me know. I'm there for you. I got you.
Appreciate you.
I got you. I got you. Do some guest appearances.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
A guest star. That's
Word.
What I'm gonna call
All
myself.
right, then.
Word.
Star.
Oh God.
Star.
Guest
Anyway.
star.
Anyway. Okay, so what we wanted to do today, aside from making that announcement, was just to talk about our event that happened on Saturday. So it was the second of the Our Show Live event this year.
Yes.
The third one is coming up in October. And like I said, we'll have some flyers and some more info on that when we come back by August. And I'm sure this time is just going to fly by.
Yes.
But we'll have more. And that one will be in Plainfield. The other two have been at Smokehouse Lounge in East Brunswick. Thank you to everyone there for accommodating us and for allowing us to have our events in your space. And so the next one will be in Plainfield, and we'll have all those details. In the meantime, the one we had on Saturday, I've been getting a lot of feedback. Has anybody else been getting any feedback? Have you? You have?
Oh God. What did you get? Because apparently,
I want to start off with y'all.
everybody said it was dope. Like
Okay.
it was dope.
Okay.
Everybody said that.
So everybody who doesn't know, our Show Live events are based off of our discussion on Black love and bridging the gap in Black love and healing the divide and how we can do that, and just starting with the conversation, getting adult men and women in the room together so that we can start having your thing anyway, so that we can start having the conversation, because that is the basis. That is where everything starts, with the conversation, right? So that is the purpose of having our events, and I think we're getting somewhere. There is no one that I have talked to that said that they did not get something from it. They did not get some sort of takeaways or anything from it where they learned from or didn't talk about for the next few days, or didn't take back to like their friends and family to discuss. So I'll go into everything I got from everybody. No. I want you to go first.
No.
Okay.
You go. Open it up.
Okay. All right. So because we have singles there and we have married couples there and we have, couples that are in relationships there, I've been getting feedback across the board from everybody. First and foremost, shout out to Coach Trev, who called and left me a voicemail on Sunday morning, just thanking us for being a part of events like that. Him and his wife, who always comes and drops jewels whenever she walks in the door. So shout out to them both. And they said they love it, and the whole spiel. I talked to Jason. He said he loved it. Shout out to Tashawn, because Tashawn, what did he say? He loved it too. Everybody dropped a bunch of gems. I keep getting conversations from about Jason's comments, so I definitely want to talk about what you said there, because everybody is talking about that, even though we kind of like laughed it off while we were there. Now everybody is talking about it in the aftermath. That is all I keep hearing about from couples, from singles, from everybody, is what Jason said. And then,
what? I'm controversial.
Yes.
Nah, I don't think I'm controversial. I keep it simple.
You do,
and they think about it later, like,
and everybody
he made
thinks
a point
about it later.
That's true.
So, from some of the couples, from some of the singles, they were talking about what Trev said about when he mentioned, suicide and homicide and deciding to be in a relationship, and deciding something means the death of something else. That resonated with a lot of people. The effort versus impact conversation that we continued from this show and took it there. I feel like we dissected to its core, and a lot of people kept bringing that up. A lot of the single women are still talking about that now. So hopefully that had an impact and changed the way a lot of people think and maybe act or function moving forward. A lot of the couples were talking about the unspoken desires conversation.
That was
I
a
gotta
good one.
come to you with something. I gotta come to you with something, some feedback I got that we gotta discuss today. And then it was Jason. Everybody was talking about some things that Tashawn said, where he said we are being tricked out of. What did he say? We're being tricked out of our
spot.
We're being tricked out of our futures. We're being tricked out of our spots.
That was a good one.
As African Americans, because we're not making the decisions to be families, get together, and be married, all the things. So that was just some top level stuff. Do y'all want me to go into it right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with you, B, before I get to Jason. So some of the couples were saying, you mentioned how you should be able to discuss everything with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
How you should be able to say everything to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the feedback that I have been getting from some of the couples is that realistic? Is it realistic to truly be able to say every single thing to your partner?
Realistic in what way?
Like, can you?
Because we talked about being friends, right?
Yeah.
So if you are friends inside of, that whatever place I'm coming from is not a place of malice, is not a place to hurt you. And it's also that I need to share my feelings too. I think, yes, you should be able to say whatever without you being butthurt or offended.
You should. Is it realistic?
It depends on the relationship you have.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah.
It depends on what you establish in the foundation. If you guys have always been that type of couple that, hey, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you that. Because let me give you an example. I know couples that can't tell each other like little things like, oh my God, your breath is howling right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't, but there are certain couples that, they'd be like, bro, go brush your teeth. Like that's how it should be, right? But there are some people that be like, oh my God, why you say that to me? This, that, and the other. Yeah. And I'm just using that as a simple example. But you should be. I had to learn this. I didn't always have that.
Let me ask you a question.
I'll be honest with you. I was married twice.
Let me ask you a question. Is it different in same-sex couples versus opposite sex?
It's not, because we're very much more emotional.
No. Oh. You're saying y'all are more emotional, so
I think it's harder.
You think it's harder? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we're females. Females' mouths are killers. We could kill a male with our mouth.
Right.
So imagine two women like not being able to hold back.
Yeah.
Imagine it's way deeper, because you ain't gonna punch her in the face because she said what she said.
That's why I can't be a lesbian, because I would.
I hate you. But you're not. It's harder.
Just saying.
It's because that man, you could actually demand. Most times men are very like, bro, did you really just say that?
Yeah.
Like, and he just ain't going to hit you because you done, whatever. A real man.
Yeah.
But a woman going back and forth with a man, arguing with a woman or doing whatever.
She's just going to say whatever.
She's going to say whatever she want to say. And then look at you like, what?
Yeah.
So I think, to me, and then I need you to understand, I am not only speaking from I don't think
what I
mean?
No. I don't think that's it. I'm just looking at it from all
I just want to say,
aspects.
I'm speaking from, I've dated several people. I've also was married to a man. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah.
And dated several men.
Yeah.
And dated several women as well. So it's not just me coming from one place of whatever. I will tell you this. In my first marriage, I wasn't able to say what I wanted to say. Or feel how I wanted to feel.
So you think it just depends on the relationship?
Definitely what you establish.
No matter what
we should be able to be like, bro, your feet stinks, and laugh about it.
Yes, that little stuff.
Okay, okay. So let me move on.
Go deeper. Yeah.
What? When you did that, I wasn't feeling it. Okay. I don't like. We should be able to say without someone being offended. I always say this. I swear I say this in my relationship. I even say this to my children. I am going to yell about stuff. I'm generally a person that yells, right? I just do. That's just who I am. My octave is just, especially when I'm passionate about something. But I need you not to listen to my voice elevating. Listen to the message. Listen to the message. Listen to
Which most people aren't going to be able to do.
It's hard for people to do.
Right.
But when you go in the corner or you go in your car, you ride in the car, and after, yes, I might have yelled, you're mad about me yelling, understand what message I was trying to convey.
So here's what I got from all the guys. They said absolutely not. All the guys said absolutely not.
Don't say whatever you feel?
No.
Oh,
They said
wow.
absolutely not. They said every guy that I talked to that was there, that's in a relationship, said absolutely not.
So that you're living.
They said as men, you know that you cannot say any and everything that you want to say to women, period, especially your partner. That you can't.
That's deep.
That you pick and choose whatever it is you need to say, because at the end of the day, they don't want to have to deal with the aftermath of a woman's emotions.
Word. Both.
All of the above, right?
Well, that's a little sad to me.
Well, that's our reality. That's our reality.
That's a little sad to me.
Jason
That
said
is
that.
our
I'll be
reality.
honest with you. That's a little sad to me.
You can't
because-
say everything.
Wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everything you can't say. You Ghost, you're right. You can. But at what cost?
And that's what I talked to 4 men that were either married or in relationships, and every single last one of them said, hell no.
Sometimes we might know the truth, and we like, you know what? We can live without discussing the truth. We know what the truth is, all right? We ain't got to discuss that right now. Let's just move on to something else. It's like that.
I don't want to be, because what kind of relationship is that really?
A male-female relationship. We can't do that. We
Every
just
single
can't.
last
Not,
one of them
Is
said
that
no.
real?
that
You
it's
asked
extremely
me.
real.
Is that real?
No,
Every
it's
single
the-
last
no,
one of them
this
said
is
no.
real. She said
No.
every last.
What I'm saying is that a real relationship?
Yeah.
Is that authentic?
Yes.
So you can be fake with me?
Nah, it is what it is. Not
It's
even
fake
fake.
with me.
It's not fake. Just like a kid doesn't say everything to their parent.
Well,
It is
I
what it
establish
is.
different because
Yeah.
I like for my kids to tell me.
You like that, and it's good for
Whatever.
they give you what they are going to give you. Man, to the woman, we're going to give you what we're going to give you, but we're not going to give you every single thing.
Every single last
You got you not everything. Maybe we give you 80. But that 20, it might be a reason for that 20 we don't give you.
Do you think that because the okay, so I'm assuming the woman's feelings will be hurt and they'll never get over stuff?
No, not that.
What?
We might not want to go through it at that time. Sometimes the feelings could be hurt, but sometimes feelings can mend. Those feelings can mend, and they might see it in a different way. But we pick
I'm not
and
saying
choose.
I haven't been hurt about something.
Yeah, but we
somebody
pick and
said.
choose what we want to talk about when we want to talk about, because it might be another time when we could discuss it, another way we could discuss it, or we
Wow.
might not want to discuss it at all.
Okay.
And that's just a man thing.
That's just a man thing.
But can I ask you, does that not build up resentment? A little bit?
For the man to the woman,
Yeah.
it's almost like accustomed to.
That's not good though, Jason.
Y'all become normal. That's your
That's
norm.
a normalized
That's
thing.
something you learn as you grow up.
Yeah, it's normalized. So it's not even like we're holding resentment
Yeah.
towards a woman. It's like, nah, it is what it is.
Wow. And so you say whatever to your friends, I'm assuming.
Not even whatever to your friends. You pick and choose who you talk to and what you
But
share.
you always got somebody you can confide in,
Yes,
right?
but so it might be something that you'll say to
Do
your
you
friend.
get it out?
Yeah, you get it out. And that's the main. Yes, you do get it out.
Do you get it out?
Nah, you definitely get it out.
Okay, all right.
You definitely get it out.
Because what I'm saying is that would build in resentment.
Yeah. If you
right?
can't tell
If
anybody,
you are literally
then, you holding too much in.
you holding too much in,
Nah, you
and
gotta
that's when
tell
you
somebody.
explode. Absolutely.
Nah, you got to tell somebody.
Wow, I didn't think of
just-
it like that.
Listen,
I'm gonna be honest.
This was
Yeah,
a part
nah, it's
of
like
the
that.
feedback.
I never
as
thought of it
part
like
of
that.
what the conversations I've been having since we left. Like everybody that's been calling me over the last few days, has been talking about that. They've been talking about a few things, you know what I mean? And that was one of them. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I ain't in no relationship right now. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm not going to say. You know what I mean?
I guess they were thinking that because I'm in a same-sex relationship.
Yeah, they said, well, maybe she feels like that because it's a same-sex relationship. But they were like, they were like, men are not going to say everything.
I am not saying that, and let me rewind. I don't always say whatever to my wife either, right? That's not.
Got you thinking
my
again,
wife
right?
is a Cancer. She's very much more
So
emotional.
you
than
can't
me.
say everything either.
Should you be able to? Absolutely.
Should you
That's
right.
my stance.
With your partner,
Yeah.
should you be able to? Yes. Is it realistic? What we are finding out is no. I mean, listen, I'm learning for the next go round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so,
but what can I just tell? What are you? As the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Does the foundation
mean anything?
Consist of because does the foundation consist of truth? Our truth, your truth, my truth, our truth.
It consists of some truth.
Some truth. I don't want you to say some truth though. Like there is truth in laying of the foundation, and
you probably gonna get what 80%.
I'm gonna say 80.
Yeah, and the rest y'all either gonna hold back, not
that's
say.
Scary to me though.
Either because y'all think y'all are
helping. Do I really know you then?
Helping to manage emotions or what?
Sometimes you don't know.
Do I really know you then?
Yeah.
If you hiding that 20% of yourself, do I know you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, you get taxes for your money, right? You earned it. You earned all that money, but you still get taxed. You know that money. You know that check. You just get taxed sometimes. You keep it moving.
Listen, I'm learning. Every time we have one of these events and
Love
every time
tax.
we have one of these discussions, I learn so much from it where I go, like I'm just in awe from everything that everybody says.
I never thought of it like that. I never thought of you you guys holding back. I think it's awfully sad. And I would love to do a poll of, anybody listening too, I would just love to do a poll of somebody saying, hey, I can't tell them everything, because should you be able to? Absolutely. You should be able to. You made me upset. You made me mad. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. Now, what's funny is I will tell you this, and I'll tell you this in my relationship, just to be transparent. I don't like when my mate talks to somebody else about me.
No doubt.
Does it happen? Of course. I know that you going to talk to your friends about me. And the one thing, I've done this before. I've been in the phone and been like, really? So y'all just said, did you see what? Y'all just had a whole conversation about me. You understand? So it gets me angry that, and I've had instances. Why?
Why does it make you angry?
Because you ain't tell me.
Yeah, but you
ain't tell me.
Yeah, but you know how that go. And maybe I'm surprised, but I'm not, because I know my friends and I know my friendship circle, and I know there's times where I'm going to run stuff by y'all before I even when I was married. I'd be like, let me say this to them first to see, because maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm wrong. And
I'm sure we do that. Yeah.
And there's whole conversations I have with y'all, and then it's filtered. It's a filtered conversation by the time it goes back to him.
Now, my thing with that is, I hear you, but my thing with that is too, you can't share everything with your girlfriend.
No, you better not.
Because your girlfriends is the type that when you over it, they not.
No.
Period.
No.
So you can't share every single thing. And I don't personally, I govern myself in that. I can't tell you because you're going to build up this resentment.
There
I'm
are
going to be
things
like,
that are personal to your relationship, and it should be.
Absolutely.
And it should be.
But I don't know. I don't know. I just like, sometimes I like to hear it raw. I do. I like to hear it raw. I like to I like to hear it before somebody else puts it in their brain and spins it a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I do. I like to hear it. Just
I don't know what I'm gonna do next relationship. I'm gonna figure it out though. We'll see.
I think it's what you established in the beginning.
What
about the communication?
No. Let me tell you something.
What?
At 46, going into another relationship now at this age,
what you going to do?
I'm sure it's a whole lot. I ain't gonna say, because I already know it's going to lead someplace else. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess.
if I say, and knowing me, you know, when I get in a Gemini mood, I'm not a good person. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, and so I already know that whomever I end up with next, I'm probably gonna have to be like, and I'm gonna have to go somewhere and I'm gonna have to like think about it and do a whole whatever.
See, let me tell y'all why I don't like to do that.
And then come back.
What I don't like to do, I don't like to hold anything in because everything I hold in, it affects my body.
But ain't nobody saying I'm holding it in. I'm saying I'm just not saying it to that person because I don't want it to have a stain.
I don't want to have heart palpitations
on a relationship. I'm gonna call you.
I don't want to.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call Mimi. I'm gonna call Shantae. I'm gonna call Tasha.
I don't want to do that because
I already know me.
I don't want to do that.
I don't know. Let me tell you something. I know me, and whatever next relationship I get in, I don't want it to end quickly because of my mouth. So I'm gonna have to run things by y'all and say things to y'all that I'm probably not going to be able
you got work to do.
To say to him, because I'm going to be like, you know what?
You got work to do.
I want this to work.
You got work to do, sis.
I'm working on me.
You got work to do.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working on me right now.
And I had to learn. I had to learn myself.
Yeah, I know me.
Because Aries is raw. We're raw people. You understand? And even our fixing something, be like, okay, I ain't gonna say it that way. I'm gonna say it this way. Even our that way is horrible. Still, it's still raw. It's still the truth. And I will size it up in my head and be like, all right, be a little more gentle. Be like this, and it don't come out.
You be like, but do you know you effed up?
Yeah.
You be like, oh,
that's me.
That's your gentle.
Like that's my gentle.
Yeah. See.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so that was the first thing. Okay? That was the first thing. Should you be able to? Yes. Is it realistic? Honestly.
Sorry, fellas.
The answer is probably going to be no.
I'm saying sorry for them.
So that was the first thing.
I didn't even know.
One of the second things was, now I got to come back to you,
was like
Jason.
They probably was like the gay girl.
No, they didn't say that.
Feelings and emotions.
No, they didn't say that,
Okay.
but they were all the ones I talked to said, yeah, you know, when we was talking about being able to say everything in your relationship, it was like, I was listening, but I think all the men in the room was like, yeah, nah, like that ain't it. I mean, every single last one that I talked to was like, nah, that ain't it. That's not it at all. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, okay. So now I'm going to you, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So for everybody that wasn't there, Tashawn wanted to talk about assumptions and unspoken desires in a relationship, right? And so the assumption part was just assuming that certain things in your relationship, either based off of your history, based off of something you were told, just whatever it's based off of, right? And so we went into that. And then we went into the unspoken desires portion of the conversation, in which we were talking about married couples and people that have been in relationships for a period of time, and how there's unspoken desires because people are not comfortable sharing things that they may want in their particular relationship. And then, Jason, you said what?
I felt at that time the conversation just started going elsewhere.
Okay.
And not to the point of where he was trying to go.
Okay.
So I'm like, are you trying to say, you know, what type of freak we are?
Okay.
And this is what you're trying to let your partner know so we know how we dealing with each other.
Yeah.
And that's when I started getting attacked.
You did. You were. Ladies, y'all were attacking him.
Because I'm like, we talking about.
Because it was like, oh, God, Jason. Oh, God,
Because when I said sexual, they're like, what? He never said sex. I'm like, well, what are y'all
thinking? And that's
thinking?
what I asked. I said to Sean, are you talking about unspoken desires, meaning sexually?
Yes.
And he said
He
yes.
said yes.
And
That
that's why.
too.
That's
Like,
when I
all
said,
that.
go ahead, Jason.
So I knew what I was.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even have to ask him.
Right.
Right.
As a man, I know what he meant by desire.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
anyone needs to hear sex,
Yeah.
when a man says desires, I'm like, y'all bugging right now. What are we talking about? So now, I said since it's hard to have that conversation, I said something I would ask in conversation was, what type of porn you like?
Share your porn.
Share
you
your
said.
porn. But before I said share your porn, I was like, what type of porn you like? You ask the person, what type of porn do they like?
Yeah.
Because if you ask them that, now you start thinking sexual. Like,
Right.
well, I like watching, massage porn, or I
Yeah.
like watching orgy porn, or BBW, whatever the case may be.
Okay. Right.
Now you know what this person is into. And it's an icebreaker of a
It is.
sexual
It is.
conversation. And I'm just trying to
I've
give people
had it though. I've done it.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to give people some tips of how they can have an icebreaker with a sexual conversation.
Then you went off of it, and then you came back to it, and you said it again. Share your porn.
Because y'all said, well, what do you want to let the people know back at the end? And I'm like, share your porn.
Everybody was like, my God, Jason, why you stuck on that? Why you?
I'm not stuck on it.
Wait, and that's what
That's a real conversation.
Mhm.
That was everybody's comment. Do you know that is what everybody has called me about since then? We laughed, we joked, we said, yeah, you're right, da-da-da-da. We ain't stay on it too long. We kind of got off of it. But since then, every single last person has talked about that.
What did they say?
Jason is right. Jason is right. Here's what I got from Tashawn. Here is what I got from Tashawn, right? Tashawn said, sharing your porn is revolutionary. He said, as women, because, one of the young ladies said, I didn't know anything about sex. I didn't know. You kept saying pump back. It was like, I didn't know anything about sex. I didn't know I was supposed to move or do this or do any of that. And she said, and this isn't something I learned from my mother or my aunties or whatever. This is stuff I learned from my friends as I got older and started having conversations with them, right? And so Tashawn said, the reason why y'all didn't know anything and the reason why you didn't get anything from your mothers and your aunties or whatever, he said, because our grandfathers honestly didn't give a damn if you enjoyed sex.
Yeah.
They didn't give a damn if you had any pleasure. So at the end of the day, all you really had to do was lay there because they didn't care because they were going to do whatever it is they wanted to do. He said, so asking someone to share your porn is revolutionary because what we're saying is we care about what pleases you. We care about what's going to get you off, and we're trying to figure out what's going to get you off. So you telling us means I'm in this to please you, unlike our grandfathers back in the day that did not give a damn. He was like, so actually that kind of statement is revolutionary. And I was like,
I was deep, huh?
You was deep.
Like you said, you keep it simple though.
Keep it simple so you could think about it.
Right,
if I say too many words, y'all gonna miss my point.
Right. And so then afterwards, and then all the guys agreed. All the guys I talked to, the same ones that was, talking about the first thing that we spoke on was just like, yeah. And then when Jason said that, I really wanted to say more, but I ain't want to get into it.
They ain't want to ruffle no feathers because they wanted something at the end of the night.
Right. They was like, I didn't want to get into it, but Jason was right.
Yeah.
Because that's really, really important. And da-da-da-da. So that's what all the guys were saying. All the ladies were at first that were saying, oh my God, why is Jason so stuck on this? Why does he keep repeating it? Now all of them were like, Jason was right though.
Thank you, ladies.
Jason was right. Jason was right because that is very important. And every man I talk to or every man I've been with, that is something that's very important. And these are conversations that you have to have in the beginning if you want to be pleased in your relationship. So, while
I think you learn what levels and what, you know what I'm saying? Like what levels you take it, what you do, what you don't do, what you like and you don't like. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like I told y'all, transparent, I had these conversations via text, via phone.
I had that.
I had these conversations. I did. Because I need you to know, like, honestly, we said match fly, but I need you to match me sexually too. Let's be real. And whoever's watching the show, sorry, but I am a human. But you got to match me in that way. We can't be incompatible sexually. And you kind of can gauge you kind of can gauge where somebody is and not. You know what I mean? And when you have these conversations up front, I did that.
Yeah, I did too.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, you know what I'm saying?
It's real.
I had those conversations, and I think
I
think we should. Why not?
I had that
I
conversation.
love when he said it's revolutionary, though. That is deep because, like you said, he said, back in the day, it wasn't really. And
he was like, our grandfathers didn't care,
but that's why we didn't know our bodies.
Right.
True indeed.
Right. That's what he was saying. He was like, the reasons why y'all was just laying there is because our grandfathers didn't care. They did not care if you was being pleased. They did not care if you liked something. They didn't care if you was getting off. They didn't care about any of that. Yeah. So all you had to do was lay there because they was going to do whatever they was going to do anyway, and you was just going to flop around and just be a part of it anyway. Yeah. So the fact that we're asking what pleases you means something.
I remember in college, this is a true story, and if my boy best friend is watching this, he was totally there. In college, I'll never forget, and this is a true story. Me and my roommate did not that we didn't know, but I think we thought that our clitorises were different, were positioned differently. Because she said, I'll never forget her saying, I've never had an orgasm.
She was in college. There's 50-year-old women that have never had an orgasm.
But I'm like, you got me who like, what? You never had? And so when it got into the conversation of where is this thing located at? You should have seen us. You should have seen us. We like, is it there? Is it here? Is it, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
But it was us exploring like why?
I mean, hey, do what you got.
Why are we not? Why don't we? I mean, this is real, y'all. Why are we not knowing certain things?
You weren't
why
taught.
we weren't taught.
You weren't taught.
And honestly, I say it all the time. I love my brothers, and I can tell you every aspect of a man. But my brothers couldn't teach me anything about being a woman. Mm-hmm. I know what they've gone through. I remember when they got their little first whatevers and all this other. I was around for that, you know. Mm-hmm. But a lot of me growing up was forbidden for me to talk about because I grew up.
You were the only girl.
I'm a girl.
Yeah,
I had that my whole life. You're a girl. I used to fight my parents, and I think that's probably why in college I was like, "F y'all, okay? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do." All of what everything was, you're a girl, you can't do this. No, you're a girl, you can't burp too loud. You know what I'm saying? You can't, seriously, you can't sit with your legs closed. You can't do this. Oh my God, why you, it was very, whew.
Well, now.
I don't know.
Now as an adult. Now
as an adult.
As a woman. Things are different.
I definitely teach my daughter differently. Don't get me wrong. I still have some of that in me because it just was ingrained in me. But I think that, like he said, it's revolutionary because I love when a little girl knows their body. I love when a little girl knows, like, okay, this is this is that. I love when not grown, but when they get to a certain age, maybe 18, 19, 20, and they realize they're sexy and they put on the heels and they do just certain stuff and the smell goods and all that. Those things, to me, are very important. Mm-hmm. But it's not always taught.
No, it's not taught at all.
It's not always taught.
Most people don't teach that at all. But like you said, for those that are just going into relationships, as Jason said, sharing your porn or desires, because the topic of the conversation, because the topic of the conversation was unspoken desires. So, sharing that information before y'all start doing anything is. Last conversation I had, it worked out for me. All I'm saying, but you
see, you had me hanging out there to dry, like you ain't want to tag in. I'm messing with you. I was good with it because what started happening.
What's funny is I will tell you that my wife was like, when you brought up the conversation, he was like, she was like, why is everybody acting like it's a cliche? Like,
why?
I
said to Sean,
is that talk about this too?
Right. I said to Sean, is that what you're talking about? He said yes. I said, okay, then let's go into it.
I learned from a woman.
I said, go ahead, Jason.
I learned this information from a woman, from women. Like, I'm like, yo, when I was introduced to it more as a conversation sexual, I'm like, oh, nah, this is a thing. So it's easy for me to talk to women about that. Like, so.
Worked out for me last time.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Anyway.
Reminisce on the love
Ow!
she had.
Woo, child. Next topic. Anyway, so we'll talk about that after the show.
A lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about after the show. Anyway, okay. So another topic, something that I wanted to bring up.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that was all just a part of the feedback. You know, everybody said that they loved the event. Everybody said that they really got something out of the event, out of every single portion of the conversations. They felt like everybody was heard. They felt like everybody was able to speak up. They felt like they loved everything the men were saying. They loved, you know, the women's questions and everything that they were saying. There were a lot of guys that were saying that there were just certain things that they didn't know about women and our struggles and different things that we go through. So everybody felt like we were sharing, we were being heard, and we were all coming from a good place. And they didn't feel like people were holding back. They felt like we were like having straight talk, no chaser, right?
I like that.
So, you know, that was the bulk of the feedback that I had gotten from a lot of it. I just want to say one of the things that resonated with me, though, is we were talking about the divide, and we were talking about certain things that cause the divide. And I think I said something about what happens when black women have all this education, have all this money, have all the careers, do all this stuff, and you're lonely, right? And Trev said something that I felt like was pertinent. He said, at the end of the day, you're going to be waiting for men to catch up. He said, and it might take a few more years for black men to catch up to the fact that women are different now. Not different bad, but your offering to them has to be something different now.
Okay.
You know?
That's real.
So the thing is before, and Trev's wife says something too. The thing is now and previous times, we were getting married and we were in relationship based off of survival as women. Survival, you know, in olden times, you know, you guys were the hunters, so y'all fed us. You guys went and got the food, you know. Then as times went on, financially, we couldn't do anything on our own because we couldn't get jobs. We couldn't have credit. We couldn't vote. We couldn't do any of those things, right? And so now you're dealing, essentially men and black men, now you're dealing with a completely different species of woman because now we are no longer with you for survival.
Okay.
Right? Now, of course, yes, survival for us as a people,
right there.
you know, and how we can procreate and keep going, we all need each other, right? But as far as everyday survival that we needed as women to rely on men to be able to live and thrive and have things and have a good life and do things, we don't need that anymore. So you have women now who are demanding something different from men that a lot of men are not accustomed to. You got to actually be a good person. Your actions now have to be different, right? So before, yeah, you could have this family over here and you could have this job here and you can come home and do whatever. And if she was going to stay in that feminine box of I still have to do this because this is my man and I need him to live and to take care of these kids and to do all the things. But now with all her degrees, all her education, all her money, all of her access, all of her things, and because in our community so many things are shifting, and we are now, a lot of us are the breadwinners in a lot of the relationships, and we don't necessarily need for everyday survival, men have to come with something different.
We don't need you to bring the bread.
No, because we got it. We own the stores. So it's like
Bars.
Right. So it's like Trev said until he said until men start to catch up. He said until men start to catch up. Because right now, as we are advancing, a lot of our men, not all, But a lot of our men aren't advancing. What they're doing is staying in the same space and demonizing us for where we are now. And so, and when Coach Trev said, no, y'all, you know, yes, black women, y'all are doing this, y'all are doing that. And I'm not, and please don't think I'm talking about the women that are verbally emasculating men, or I ain't talking about the women that's saying I don't need no man. I'm not talking about any of that at all. I'm not talking about any of that at all.
Even that ain't real.
No. I'm literally talking about respectful women that are about their business and doing all the things they need to do to take care of themselves and their household, and they just don't happen to not be with anyone yet. And then they start dating and meeting people, and now you have all these stigmas on you because you've taken care of yourself for so long, right? Trev said, our men have to catch up. And I have literally been thinking about that since Saturday. Because I said, well, I don't know what the answers are. I said, but I do know that we don't need more degrees and more money as black women. I said, because all it's going to do is create further divide. Right? And I'm not saying you're not supposed to take care of yourself. I'm not saying you're not supposed to live your best life because you ain't supposed to wait around for no man. I'm not saying, listen, listen, ladies, I'm with you. I live mine. Hell, I just came back from vacation, right? But what I'm saying is, and do everything on my own. Every single thing on my own. Do I want to? Absolutely not. I want to be submissive.
Jill said that.
I do.
I need you.
I do. I need and want a man. I got one in particular. But my point is that
I hate you.
Listen, I got as submissive as what you need. Okay. Anyway,
You want to do that?
what I want to, just for anyway, after the show. So the point is that Coach Trev was saying in the meantime.
Oh God, Lee, you're back.
What?
Lee said, I agree, but
Who is that? Lee who?
Lee Douglas. I think it's
hey, Lee
far more
Mr.
complex.
Lee, my guy.
I don't know who Trev is, but he's not 100% correct. Does the money that's made dictate a woman being submissive to her man or spouse? That's not what we're saying.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Totally not what we're saying. It does not dictate.
That does
It
not.
doesn't. Our point is we're making money. A lot of times, I'm gonna break it down for you, Lee. A lot of times,
our needs are different.
right?
now.
A lot of times, what we were taught was, because this is true. Most of the time, back in the day, men made the money.
Absolutely.
Men made the money. Period.
Yeah.
Men made the money, and I'll even go a step further. Is men made the money and brought it home to the wife.
Right.
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 And brought it home to the wife. She was the homemaker or whatever. Not a lot of times she worked. She really tended to the kids, right? So what we're saying is, and I remember even growing up hearing a man say, you know, an old guy told me, if you give your wife money, if you take care of your girl, she'll never leave. That doesn't work for 2025. Because I could care less about your money. She could care less about your money. We care about you, the authenticity.
You got to be a good person.
You right, but authentically loving, authentically giving and being and creating and a legacy and all of that stuff. There's so much
more.
Yeah. Than just you tending to. And I think men got typecast with that. I think they really bought into
that's what Coach Trey said.
They bought into the all I have to do is take care of the house.
Right.
And what about the protection of my heart? What about giving me your heart? What about, you know what I mean? What about not just that?
Right.
Like I watched a thing today on Facebook. It was funny because the wife called the mother on. It was a Jamaican, and the wife called the mother and said he don't help clean. And at first the mother didn't believe her. She was like, wait, he don't help clean. So she had the mother come in the house, and the mother stood behind the door, and she said to her husband, "Can you pick this up? Could you help me clean? I keep doing it all." He was like, "What the blah blah blah?" And he started going off, and the mother stepped and was like, "Whoa, like I know I raised you better." Like, you know, each one help one is what she said. You know, our each one teach one, but again, she's Jamaican, so she's like, each one help one. And all I'm saying is there were a lot of times, even I grew up with gender roles. Man did not wash the dishes. Men did not do certain things. I grew up like that. And some of that, which is crazy, is embedded in me right now. Because I'll tell my daughter in a minute, nope, let the boys take out the garbage.
Yeah.
Because that's how I grew up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, like, we need more than that. It's not about your money.
No, it's not about the
It's
money.
about your heart. It's about the love you show. It's about the love you give.
So it's
that part.
It's it's biologically, our
Lee, shut
what do you say?
My money being given is definitely connected to my heart.
Absolutely. And we get that, Lee. But what we're saying is biologically our needs are different.
Definitely
As
different.
we have advanced and as we have done more, biologically our needs are different.
Because
And this is what all the red pill guys are
That
talking
part.
about, right? So all the red pill guys from all of these podcasts, this is actually what they're mad about. I see what they're mad about. My whole thing is don't be mad about the evolution, catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because it's like at this point you like, oh, y'all doing too much, go get back in your cage. Go get back in your box. And that's essentially what most of them are saying on a lot of these podcasts. And so it's like as we evolved, our needs are different now. So now that I can buy my own house, I can buy my own car, and I can get my own food, and I don't necessarily need you to hunt for my food anymore, then that means
So how they show it, Lee?
that means essentially that my needs with you are different, and you might actually have to be a good person, not just
Jason.
a provider.
Jason,
What
let
up?
me ask you a question.
What up?
Because this is Lee in here.
I see Lee. I'm
You
watching.
see him?
Yeah.
My thing is this. I know that back in the day they were taught like if the male took care of the household, bought you the house, or paid the mortgage or things like that, that
a
was
good
what
man.
that was a good man.
It's a good
that
man,
was what
Savannah.
love was. Can you tell me, in your opinion, in 2025, what you think a good man is and what you think love looks like to us? What do you
I
think?
can't tell you what a good man is
Okay.
because I'm not seeking for a good man.
Okay. No, not seeking.
Just-
Not
No, but
seeking, no.
He said
I can't-
Definitely not
Nah,
seeking.
I'm messing with you on that.
He said men show love differently than women. So how do men show
But that's
love?
why I wanted to
So men show love with their time.
Okay.
If they give you their time, if they give you their effort, that they love you.
Okay.
It might not match up with everything else a woman puts in their checkbox.
Absolutely.
But a man, men can be complicated. They definitely can be. And they giving you their time, they giving you their heart. That right there is a man
But
showing
what does
love.
giving you the heart look like? I know you said time, but is there anything else?
Sharing their world
Okay.
with you.
Okay.
If they can share their world with you, stuff they don't share with just the normal, and it's not for everybody. If they can share their world with you, then
That's love.
That's love.
So
right there.
basically, I got some phone calls to make when I no, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
So I mean, whether it be God giving you a phone call, if they can share their word in whatever way, shape, or form, that they don't have to, they choose to. If they choose to do it, then that means
I agree.
they love you. They got love for you. They care for
Tiffany
you.
said they don't think they need to catch up. There is sadly an intimidation men have just because she may seem more successful. I totally agree with you, Tiff. There's a lot of times where a lot of women lose out because the man thinks in their head that the woman is a little more successful and he can't fit, in her world.
And I feel like it's easier, right? It's easier to love a woman based off of those antiquated standards because that's what we all know and that's what you all know. So it's like, listen, as a man, this is what I provide. I provide this, and this. This is what I know. This is what's been done. This is what's been modeled in front of me, or this is what's been told to me. This is what I know, and this is how I know how to love. So if bringing home the bread is what all men have done historically, I can do that. But now that we have evolved and I don't need you to own the bread because, like I said, we may own the bread store, but we still have this connection, chemistry, and compatibility. Now, how do you love me? And I think that's where the breakdown is.
How do you love me? And
how do you love me?
Yep.
And that is the breakdown now, because I don't think a lot of men, as Coach Trev said, have to catch up. I don't think a lot of men know how to go outside of that part. Outside of that. If I'm not making more money than you and can provide you with these basic necessities that most men do with most women, if I can do that, all well and good. But outside of that, a lot of times men don't know how to. I don't know if they understand the dynamic. I think maybe it's too difficult, and I think a lot of them run from that.
But I think what I will say, even with women, a lot of women are successful now, but they need the support, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of women are successful right now. We got the degrees and we got the cars and we got all that stuff. That's great, great, great. But what we do need is authentic love. What we do need is for you to love us through all of that. What we do need is for you to show up for us, right?
But like Lee said, men love differently. So they may not necessarily know that.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you that today, though. Like, I'm just trying to get y'all hitched and stuff. Yeah. In relationships, I'm telling y'all what a woman looks for. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not with somebody for money because I work hard as hell. Mm-hmm. I work hard as hell. I work. That's all I know to do. That's if I want something, I work for it. However, by any means necessary, that's what I do. So I don't necessarily need you to bring money to the table. I really don't. It's nice.
Lee said it's in our DNA to provide. So why is it that it's now a competition? We can get paid together, and I'll love your ass more.
Who makes it a competition, though?
Yes, it is in your. Listen, Lee. Let me put it to you like this. Yes, it is in men's DNA to provide, but to provide what? It ain't all about money. And that's the evolution of it there.
Well, what happened was back in the day,
it was money.
It was money.
It
was money. It's no longer money anymore.
And that's what men
That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, men knew to provide based off of finances. Now that it's not finances, it's still in your DNA to provide, but now to provide what? And that's what B was just saying. It could look like your provision could be in the form of support. Your provision could be in the form of your presence.
Yes.
Your provision could be in the form of whatever.
Just covering me.
It's not just finances nowadays.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's still finances for me, but I'm just saying.
If we building, like he said, if we build together, that's great. We build together, but the thing is like I said.
But now we need more. We require
need more than that.
That's what we're saying. We require more. It's not just finances.
Tiffany,
so
you ain't never lied.
Not a competition.
Tiff said, Lee Douglas, I've seen men get intimidated and leave the successful woman for someone in a lesser status financially so he can seem superior like the man. And that is...
Men really do that?
Yes.
Well, that's what old boy just did.
Yes. Yes.
When he needed to. God bless him.
When they feel like they can't equate,
he needed
to in a certain way. Absolutely.
Did he not need to do it? He needed to do that.
Yes. Do men do that? Absolutely.
You saw it. He needed to do that.
Bugging for that.
They
one.
do.
They
do
that's
that.
What he needed to do.
Because you got to understand something. They're uncomfortable.
It does make them uncomfortable.
It makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does make it. Because they, again, if it's in your DNA to provide and you think your provision is just finances, if you cannot do that, that causes a problem. It causes resentment. Mm-hmm. You don't know your place. Mm-hmm. You feel emasculated. And so now you need to go find someone where you can do that.
They bugging.
That's why anyway. So my point is
it's still money.
Evolution.
Y'all are successful, so you do see it in that manner. I wasn't enclosing the perspective. I don't know. You have to say it again, Lee, because I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
It's not still money. What is what we're saying? We're making money now.
Yo, that part right there, that really got me. I think it was you. Both of y'all were talking, especially you, Toya, when you was bringing it home. when you're talking about how the women, how in the corporate America, they look at y'all less if y'all not married.
Yep, it's true.
And I'm like, damn, that hit me right there. Just
it's true. Well, I worked
being
in
around a lot of women in corporate America.
Yeah.
And the ones who are not married, some are married, getting divorced, and I'm like, damn, y'all look less. And we talking about how the women, the lighter shade, go intentionally to find their husband.
Absolutely.
And a coach, like when you was bringing it home, you was bringing it home. Like
it's true though,
from the other
because
coaches.
even myself, I worked in corporate for 10 years, and I was the single black
female,
single mom.
Yeah,
none of them. I could never share with them. My struggle.
And they
didn't know it.
But they did, or they assumed they did, and that's the part that I didn't get a chance to talk about there. I didn't get a chance to talk about. It's like, oh, because they'll know when you have children.
They do.
Oh, I mean, do you have a babysitter?
Yeah.
Or like, do you and these are the conversations. I swear to God, these are the conversations that you'll have in the office, and you'll be like, oh my God, yeah, because then when my car broke down, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, I mean, did you have someone to help you?
Yeah.
Like, did you? I swear to God, and you looking at them like,
yo, not the heavy.
I swear to God, you know why? Because they sit in offices, and any minor inconvenience is my husband, my dad, my brother, my uncle, my, and they are fully supported. But with us, they know that we are doing everything on our own, or they assume that we are doing everything on our own.
I'll never forget.
And they treat you like
I'll never forget. My coworker's car broke down. By the end of the day, say like she knew that it broke down right before she pulled in. Oh my God. She literally called her father and was like, yes, Daddy. Oh my God. I don't know. When she came back to work, to work the next day, she was driving a different car. No exaggeration. She was driving a different car.
They know most black women
and
can't
was like,
do that.
yeah, I just, and no, can we do no? Because I've got stuck in the snow and I had to lie and hide. I remember I used to park before I got a better car. I used to park my car all the way because everybody was driving a car that I couldn't pronounce.
But
right, everybody,
but
and I was the black girl just there.
But they are supportive.
They are supportive. I had the smarts, but I was nothing compared to them.
No, they are supported, and they know that they are supported. I've been in the office. I remember working down in Princeton, and one of the girls was like, "Oh my God, I don't know how to close the garage door." She called her husband, and she was like, "Babe, I don't know how to close the garage door." And he was like, "Well, I'm at work," and she was like, "I'm just gonna call my dad. Okay, I'm gonna call my dad, and we're gonna get the garage door closed." And when I tell you she was spazzing, I don't know what was in that garage, but she was at work spazzing. We was at work spazzing because she honestly did not know how to close the garage door. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't have that. That's not my story.
We have to figure it out.
And that's the thing is, they live a very different life.
Different.
And they treat you different. And this was another part of a conversation I had gotten from a gentleman yesterday when we were talking about feedback, because he did bring that part up about what I said about how they look at us in corporate spaces. And I said, yeah, but I said, the part that you don't understand is y'all keep wanting to, as black men, you keep wanting to skate past this relationship portion to get to the economic and to the political portion of things, not realizing and recognizing that everything is going to come back to these relationships. And I said, how do we get to the economic portion? How do we get to the political portion? I said, guess what? As a black man or any man in politics, you're not even going to win unless you're married. Straight up. Point blank, period. Unless you look like a responsible, secure family man with a spouse or a mate, you are not even going to win politically, which means we're not going to get anywhere politically, which means we're not going to be at any seats governing or making any decisions on anything until you have a mate or a spouse.
So it was two, to your point, it's two people that come to mind. McGreevy, who was gay, but faked it with the wife.
Yeah. Why?
So he can get them votes.
Okay.
He already knew everybody from, I think, Woodbridge, they knew his lifestyle already. But then he said, I got to put on. Now, he could have been he was the governor, right?
Yeah.
He could have been a great governor. I don't remember at the time. Without having a fake saying that he was, heterosexual. And he did it for the votes. But then it was the other one, Booker. Booker never got married. And he has a lot of rumor saying that he is gay. But just because you're not married doesn't mean that you can't be a good mayor. But it was a lot of resentment towards him.
Yeah, it's how you're seen.
There's a lot of resentment towards him.
You got to remember, Booker is a black man.
And he's a black man.
And
so if you're a black
man. And to Sean touched on it, he said the way you all are seen in corporate spaces is the way we're seen in the world. When we show up in spaces without a mate, we are dangerous.
Yeah.
We are dangerous.
Right.
We are, and that's what we're not understanding as a people. When we show up in spaces and we are not hitched to someone else, we're either seen as immature, we're seen as dangerous, we're seen as whores, we're seen as, and it's like, oh well, they don't got it together. That's their people thing. And what I was saying in the conversation when I was having yesterday, I said, you keep talking about advancement and politics. I said, you got to realize you're not getting invited into them spaces unless you have a mate. I don't get invited to all of the couple rich people stuff because I don't have a mate. If I had a husband and I could say, oh yeah, me and blah, blah, blah couple, I'm even when I'm in the inner circle with other people that don't look like me, right? I'm more accepted when I have a partner. But without it, I'm damn sure not invited.
You're not invited.
I'm damn sure not invited. And that's why I was saying, like, we don't understand how important this is. Everybody wants to go to economics.
Or they'll be like, do you have someone to bring?
Right.
Oh, yo, I used to have
do
to
you
go
have
through
someone
it.
to bring?
I've been through it.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. Listen, I know we overtime right now. It's 8:06, so I know Jeff is ready to get up out of here, especially because this is our last show until August, and he y'all could just end this right now. So, listen. I think the event on Saturday was absolutely great. I got so much from it. I hope that everyone did, because that is the purpose of these events, and that is the purpose of having these conversations.
I'm glad that real quick, I know we gotta go, but I don't know if everybody watched the movie Straw.
No, not watching it.
You didn't watch it?
No, I'm not.
You're not gonna watch it?
No.
Why?
What would I
Which
need
one
to
is
cry
that?
about struggle and all that stuff for? Not right now.
Which one is that?
The one with
Straw
Taraji.
is the one with
Yo, I
Taraji.
saw that.
Yeah, no, I'm not watching that.
No, because we talking about
we
talking about that, and I thought the movie was great.
Amazing.
I thought it was amazing.
Not right now.
Okay.
No doubt.
No,
I didn't make me
not right.
cry though.
Not right now.
Maybe because I lived her life.
Well, not right now. That's
I got
what I said.
glassy.
Everybody
You got a
else,
little glassy.
Yeah.
everybody else is saying they cried this up. I don't need that right now.
I
Listen,
didn't need it.
I need to be happy. You know what made me happy? Kendrick freaking Lamar made me happy. How about that?
God.
How about that?
Go to the
K-Dot?
concert again.
K-Dot. Shout out to everybody at
been
my
her
job.
That's why they mad now.
I love Kendrick.
Because you be knowing people.
I love Kendrick freaking Lamar. Okay. Anyway, shout out to everybody at my job, and we'll talk about that after the show. Anyway, yeah. So we'll be back, everybody. So this is our last show for the summer. You'll still see clips from, everything that we've done over the summer. So please like and follow the page, y'all. Go to the Owl Show page because we are increasing followers on that page. So like and follow the Owl Show page on Instagram. It's just OWWHH. Go ahead, like that page, follow that page. There's going to be clips and stuff. We'll probably have some talking head videos over the summer just when something comes up, because I'm sure something's going to come up that me and her will probably be together and want to talk about. And it just won't be in studio.
Right.
And even if we're on Jason's show, we'll probably share that to the page too. So make sure y'all are there so y'all can watch and follow.
Absolutely.
But then we'll be back in August, so don't miss us
y'all.
too much.
Yes.
Don't miss us too much. We'll be back in August. We got more events coming up in September and October, live events where you guys will be at, and we'll be back just in enough time to start promoting those so that we can get you guys there. B, you got anything before we head out?
No, I just want to say go out and vote. P-Funk.
I think that's over now. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock.
Well, 8. Okay. Well, yeah, somebody's still there. Somebody's still there. They ain't letting them in. All right. Well, all right, P-Funk.
Well, we'll see who the new mayor is. Ooh, we'll come back. It's going to be another mayor. Maybe. Or definitely another governor. It'll definitely be another governor. we'll see about if there's another mayor.
Yes.
Jason, any last words for us on this show?
I always have a great time with y'all. Y'all could catch both of y'all, hopefully, definitely Toya. It's going to be on Beards and Ballheads every Monday, 9:30, 9-ish, something like that.
Yep.
BKS1 Radio. Y'all know how we do.
That's it.
Love y'all.
We love y'all. We'll see you.
See you in a little bit. In a little while.
In September.
Yes.
That's it. Take us away, Jeff. Bye, y'all. Love y'all.
Peace, peace.